Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. We've got some I Don't Work Here Lady stories, and our first story of the day is by ekellisor. Ex-employee chews out a Karen. I wasn't sure where this Karen story belonged, but decided to post it here in honor of its hero, who most definitely doesn't work here anymore. So for some context, this story involves me, a nice lady, a Karen, Karen's husband, and a guy who used to work there. We'll call him Adam, but he's actually my hero. Also, I'm obviously a trans guy, which did not help. I work at a large hardware store as an appliance associate. We wear orange aprons, so I'll let you figure out where that is. Now, I don't usually work in flooring, but the regular flooring guy was on break, so after the nice lady asked me to get something down from the overhead for her, I headed over there to help. Seeing Karen and Adam standing at the carpet cutting machine, not together. I tell them I'll come help them as soon as I was done with the nice lady. After about 2 minutes, I returned to the carpet cutting machine to find Karen gone, leaving me to talk Adam through what would be best for him to get for his project. Just as I'm getting ready to roll out the carpet we decided on, Karen comes stomping back. "There you are." Adam says, "It's alright man, take care of her first, I'm not in any rush." I say, "How can I help you ma'am?" "I need 60 feet of astroturf. How freaking hard is that?" I start rolling out her carpet. "You should have just done that to begin with. Are you stupid or something? All of you people are lazy, good for nothing R-words." Adam says, "Ma'am, there's no reason to talk to him like that. He's just doing his job." "Not freaking fast enough. Not that it's any of your business. You need to stay out of our conversation." Adam, obviously done with her BS. "Look, he's just trying to do his job and you're acting like a witch." A verbal smackdown ensues until my manager, we'll call her Debbie, walks over to intervene. Debbie says, "Is there a problem?" "I was just having a conversation with this lady," points to me, "and he started being rude. You need to handle it." Manager says, "Ma'am, he doesn't work here. I don't know what you want me to tell you." My manager proceeds to try and talk the woman down while I roll and cut her carpet. By the time I had her carpet ready, her husband had arrived with a cart to load it up. Then, thinking everything was over, my manager walks away, and I turn to Adam to get him his carpet. That's when I realized that Karen had been telling her husband what happened. Husband storming out to Adam, "Did you call my wife a witch?" Adam shrugging, "I said she was acting like a witch. There's no reason to talk to associates the way she did." "You need to learn some freaking respect. You can't talk to customers like that." Adam says, "I am a customer, which means I can say the things everyone else is thinking but can't say." Then the husband tried to fight Adam before my manager came back and escorted the couple to the front. Come to find out, Adam used to work there and loved the opportunity to tell customers everything he'd never been able to when he worked there. I've never been so satisfied. Let me ask you guys, if you were doing retail and you had a bad customer like this, would you be able to hold in the kind of vulgar language and remain completely publicly appropriate? Let me know if you think you would be able to handle that in the comments down below, because some of these Karens might really test me on something like that. Our next story is by RestEqualsRust. My wife saw it happen. There's something about the way I look /dress /act that causes people to assume I work here, wherever I am at the time. It's happened at restaurants a few times, Office Depot more than once, at a fancy resort in Hawaii, but it happens most often at Home Depot. It's become an ongoing joke with me and my wife. I have told her dozens of times about these instances and we are both entertained, but she rarely sees it happen firsthand. Yesterday, we were at a Home Depot picking up plastic storage bins. She and I together, pulling bins off the shelf and loading them into a cart. An older lady approached me. "Excuse me, where do you keep your bug spray?" "It's in outdoors right over there." "Oh, thank you. Also, I have these little fruit flies in my house. What do you recommend?" "Put a splash of wine in a glass, add 2 drops of dish soap, cover the top with saran wrap. Poke a couple holes in the saran wrap with a toothpick. The bugs will be attracted by the wine, go inside and not be able to find their way out. The soap will help them drown by breaking the surface tension of the wine." "Oh wow, thank you so much for your help." The whole time, my wife stood there with a shocked face. After the old lady left, my wife told me how amazing it is to see this happen in real life and how quickly I transformed from a customer to an employee. I don't even bother to tell people I don't work here. Well, when you only ever have polite old ladies and good experiences, it makes it a little easier to just go along with it. But when you have the irate Karens, it becomes a lot more easier to quickly say, I don't work here, it's not my responsibility. This next story is by TheGrizzlyGentleman. Do you have any idea who I am? I do. Do you know this man? So this one was years ago and will need a little setup. I'll try to make it so I can't be so easily identified, but will also try to give enough detail that it can be checked up on, as it involves a reasonably famous individual. Therefore, I have no doubt people may be skeptical. So, for years I lived in Kennebunkport in Maine, USA. It's very much a holiday town and gets busy in the summer. Now, as the summer period starts, a very special guest would arrive in Kennebunkport, as they had a holiday home at the northern end of town on a small peninsula. The 41st President of the United States, the late George Bush Sr. The flags and banners used to come out, "Welcome back, Mr. President." There were plenty of restaurants in the town, many owned by the same company, and the president used to dine with us a lot. So, one day I was wiping down the bar. It was a quiet day and we only had a few people dining. Behind the bar is a huge fish tank so you can see through the tank to the front door. I saw a lady walking across the drive, well dressed and straightening her skirt. I placed the cleaning stuff under the bar and awaited the lady. I said, "May I help you?" Karen says, "I hope so. Is the order ready?" "I'm not aware of any order, but I'll have a check with the kitchen. Can I take your name?" "You don't even know who the heck I am? What an embarrassment." She would go on to tell me that she was here for an order of oysters and clams for the presidential compound. Now, this wasn't unusual. The president often got complimentary oysters whenever he would dine with us. Plus, we would often send food up to the compound, but it was never this lady and never a sole person who would pick it up. Certainly not on foot, and we knew the cars they used. I could not get a single word in. She berated me for a while. "I'll have your job," or "Is this the disrespectful shambolic service you always provide?" and the usual crap. Then she spies the gentleman behind me, full suit, very smart, who has come to see what the commotion was all about. Karen flicks her head his way and utters, "You, come here." Karen went into her rant to be stopped 10 seconds in as the man in the suit gestured for her to come through into the back dining area. Suited man said, "Madam, will you just step this way please and we can resolve this." Now, I don't work here, but on the other side of the wall, she saw George Bush, Barbara Bush, and a few guests who were dining with us. I should probably mention, though you probably know, ex-presidents who were in office before 1997 were provided Secret Service agents to protect them and their family for life. Obama brought this back in making George W. Bush the first president to have lifelong security since 1997. One of President Bush's agents was sat in the corner. The other one was the well-dressed man by Karen's side, whom she had incorrectly assumed was my manager. Her face went white and she ran. Sort of. She had heels on. She stumbled and headbutted the front door before stumbling over the driveway like a newborn deer trying to walk for the first time. The president's staff just let her go, simply asking for a copy of the CCTV before they left. According to one of my bosses, the lady was picked up by the sheriff's department, charged and fined a few months later. I think there were some form of fraud charges. I had nothing to do with it after she ran out. Our managers dealt with most of it, like I said. A larger company owned most restaurants in town. We only got snippets. Apparently, attempting to steal products and defraud a business by way of claiming to work for an ex-president of the United States is frowned upon in Maine. So yeah, she didn't work on the president's team. She worked at Walmart in a town called Wells up the coast. Just wanted to try her luck and had probably heard that the president dined here when he was in town. I believe she lost her job there and was arrested and fined a few months later. She had some balls to even try that stunt, let's be real. But going in the restaurant and trying to pull that stunt only for George Bush to actually walk in the middle of it is about the worst luck you could possibly have, and probably the biggest serving of karma. This next story is by Audginator. Sure, I can help you find the creamer. I wanted to share a wholesome story here that's from a few years ago. I was walking into a big grocery store chain to start my shopping. I start my trip with my headphones in before I even left my car. However, I can typically tell due to hyper anxiety when someone tries to get my attention. When I walked through those big double doors, I stopped to check my list to see where to begin and saw someone looking at me out of the corner of my eye. I look up and there's two guys standing there. One looks like he might be blind in one eye and the other was staring at the floor. I popped my headphones out of my ears and… I'm sorry, what did you say? Can you help us find the creamer? Of course, I paused for a second because I don't work here and I don't want to give them the idea that I do. However, being an avid coffee drinker, I do know where the creamer is. Plus, they seemed very sweet, so I thought, why not? There was something off though. I thought maybe one or both of them might have some kind of disability, and I didn't have it in my heart to say no. I walked them both straight over to the creamers, showed them the different kinds and brands and told them which one was my favorite and wished them a wonderful day. The one who stared at the floor never said a word to me, but I did hear the first guy repeating the info I gave him to the one that stared at the floor as I walked away. I had never seen them before and haven't seen them since. I did call my mom afterwards though and relay the information to her, and she told me they were likely part of a home for people with mental disabilities, and that one of their tests to see if they can get their own place is the ability to go out and buy something without incident, like creamer. I almost hope it was, so that maybe I helped those two pass their test, but either way, it's one of the fondest I don't work here stories that I have. So if you walked right into a store, right into them asking you to help them, would you help them out? If it was me, I probably would say I don't work here, but I think it's in X direction, because most stores have some kind of pretty familiar layout, and for something like creamer, you kind of just have to ride the outer wall and you'll probably be just fine. But of course, it does depend on what kind of store you're in. Our next story is by InsectBoyz. Ma'am, I am not your Uber driver. Context: my parents recently built a hotel that rhymes with chariot. I am there quite a bit because my girlfriend is the general manager, but I don't work there as I hate the hospitality industry with a fiery passion. Also, I drive a 2018 Maserati and wear a full suit daily. One day I pulled into the driveway of the hotel to wait on my girlfriend to pick her up from work. It was an especially rainy day for the area. I live in West Texas and it doesn't rain too much. And I see two women in their late 40s to 50s in the entryway. I'll call them Karen and non-Karen. I'm minding my own business listening to a podcast when all of a sudden, Karen starts banging on my back window yelling, "Open the freaking door!" I look back thinking, what the heck is going on? And reach in my glove box to grab my pistol. I have my concealed carry license. And roll my window down thinking she is in trouble and needs help. For context, the hotel is within 1/4 of a mile of a halfway house, and we always get shady people and drug dealers outside. I proceed to ask her, "Ma'am, can I help you?" Karen replies with, "Yes, open the door. You are the worst freaking Uber driver ever. I am giving you a 1-star rating." Lucky I am not quick to anger and not an Uber driver. But if I was, I don't think it would be the right thing to start off as a rider being this rude. I realized there was no danger, so I put up my pistol away and calmly replied to her, "Ma'am, I don't drive for Uber. Please stop hitting my car." At that moment, my girlfriend calls asking me to come inside to help her carry out her things. As I'm talking to my girlfriend, Karen goes back inside sheepishly and I park my car. As I walk inside, non-Karen promptly apologizes for Karen's actions, saying she's sorry. Karen thought I was their Uber driver driving a Ford Focus. I laugh and say, "No problem." Karen never apologized. It really tells you what kind of person that Karen is to do all that and not even say as much as a sorry. That's like the least you could do for that. And all I know is apparently OP is driving the nicest Ford Focus in existence. Our next story is by Divergent. A wholesome I don't work here. I'm a body piercer in the UK. Yesterday was my receptionist shift while my co-piercer got to do the fun shift. We have 4 studios, 3 of which are tattoo-only studios. Needless to say, we go through a metric freak ton of paper towel and cleaning supplies in a normal time. Much more in a pandemic. Part of the reception job is gathering said supplies from the Wilco and the nearby shopping center. So I've got my trolley, shopping cart, filled with everything we need, looking like a professional panic shopper, when this lady comes up to me and asks if I know where the batteries are. I looked at her a bit confused and apologized, saying I don't work here. She looked at me again, realized I'm in a black long-sleeved band shirt, black skirt with patches all over it, and not the normal red uniform. The lady says, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. I saw you with a lot of things and didn't even stop to realize you don't work here. Sorry, I hope you have a lovely day." I say it's fine, you have a lovely day too. I hope she found her batteries. What is this? A story on r/IDon'tWorkHereLady that has zero drama? And a person actually taking a second to look at a person's attire and realize because of that they don't actually work there? Now this is a rarity. And our final story of the day is by ShadowWolf360, Jack Skeleton Doesn't Work Here. Hello everyone, this is a rather quick story. No Karen yelling, no manager called, so not really all that interesting, but I figured I would share. I was at Walmart with my mom the other day. I had just gotten paid for work and asked her to take me to Walmart to look at the computers. While we were back in the electronics aisle, she went to look at laptops and I was looking at desktop computers. To mention, I was wearing a yellow Pac-Man t-shirt. It had a small little Pac-Man on the front and a giant on the back, black pants, and my Jack Skeleton lanyard that held my card and locker keys for work, as well as a picture of Jack himself. After looking, I started heading back to get my mom to look with me when a lady called me over from the registers. The lady said, "Excuse me, can you ring me up?" I, at that point, didn't say anything, being a bit surprised she was speaking to me. The lady then took a second look at me and went, "Do you work here?" Being I have a bit of social anxiety, I was still processing the fact that a random lady was speaking to me and was only able to shake my head no and continue to my mom. So that's my story. Like I said, nothing dramatic happened and it only lasted a minute or two, but I thought it would be alright to share. Shout out to Jack Skellington, The Nightmare Before Christmas, a fantastic movie, and it's getting awfully close to getting into the spirit for it. Unfortunately, this lady might have thought Opie was mute or just very socially awkward, unfortunately. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today, so if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an upcoming video from the Storytime channel. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, so no matter what you did, thank you for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next time right here.